This is your all-in 2018 pay-per-view review. My overall thoughts on what was All In 2018. Thank you all for watching this video, tuning in back into the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up and share this video throughout your entire social media. What I'm going to do also for this video is make this available in audio format and put this out there on the feeds, whether it's PODBEAN, so it can be available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, for you guys to listen to on the go. So I'm doing that for you guys. Consider that like my Labor Day gift to all of you, and consider it also like a T-mail podcast extra, if you will. Something in that capacity, okay? Overall, again, I thought All In 2018 was an amazing show. Hands down, from top to bottom. Yes, there's some things I personally would have done differently. There's the placement of matches on this card that I would have placed differently as well. But nonetheless, I find myself, watching this show from home on Fight TV, and I cannot sit here and say that, oh my God, I didn't enjoy myself, because I did. I enjoyed myself watching the show. When you think about it, All In 2018 was probably one of the most anticipated shows of the year. Hell, you could put this up there with WrestleMania. Hell, even Wrestle Kingdom if you wanted to. Because literally this show had that WrestleMania vibe to it. You had people traveling from all over the country or all over the world from, let's say Europe or Japan, what have you, to Chicago for this one event. And Chicago, for a couple of days, became once again wrestling capital, just like New Orleans was for WrestleMania, but on the independent, smaller scale. But nonetheless, again, it had that WrestleMania vibe, right? And you had StarCast, you had all these shows going on at the same time. And again, I'm sitting here and I wish I could have gone. I have a lot of friends that have gone to Chicago for this event and are having a time of their lives, whether it been, again, going to the city of Chicago, going to All In, being part of StarCast. Again, they had a fun time, and I'm sitting here at home, going on Twitter, going on Instagram, seeing everyone having a fun time. And I'm going to say this right now. Again, nothing for certain right now, but if there is an All In 2, which I do believe it will happen, then I am going to All In 2. Hands fucking down. I'm saying it. You can, again, come back to this part of the video to remind me, but I'm going to All In 2 if it does happen, which a part of me does believe it will happen. What I got from All In, this is what I learned from the show. Okay? There's nothing wrong with taking a chance on yourself. A lot of times we're given or we're dealt a shitty hand, right? Whether it be you're not liking the job that you have, your bosses, your manager, what have you, treats you like a piece of shit. But at the end of the day, despite all of that, only you can make a change happen. And I see that with someone like Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. Here are the Young Bucks, two guys that, let's be real about it, years ago, everyone thought, oh, they're these spot monkeys that are killing the wrestling business. They don't fucking get it. They don't do psychology. And despite all of that, there's a group of people that still support them, that still love them, that still, again, we're fans of the Young Bucks, right? And despite all of that, right, they managed to have success come their way. They are arguably now the number one, or they probably are still the number one merch sellers on Pro Wrestling Tees. They have a Hot Topic deal. They have all these stuff happening to them. And look at them now. Look at them now with All In. Look at someone like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, it's going to be 2.5 years ago that he left WWE. It was a guaranteed deal. All that, you can imagine, right? He was Stardust. He didn't like what he was given in WWE. He wanted change, and he left. He took a chance on himself. He wrote the list of all the people that he wanted to wrestle outside WWE. After that, he became the Ring of Honor World Champion, wrestled for the IWGP title twice, and now look at him. Look at him now. He is now the NWA World Champion after what happened last night at All In. And he took a chance on himself, and all this would have never happened if he didn't leave WWE. And look at him right now. He's, again, his stock has never been so high like it is right now. And this is what happens when you take a chance and it pays off. Also, what it taught me, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but this is my honest opinion. You cannot underestimate the power of the wrestling fan, or more importantly, the independent wrestling circuit. When you think about independent wrestling, you think of, oh my God, that it's shows that take place in a high school gym in front of 100 people, or if not 50 people at best, where they wrestle on Saturday nights, what have you. If not at a high school gym, it's at an armory somewhere, it's broken down, and they're doing their stuff there, what have you, right? That's what people think about when they think about independent wrestling. But you look at the people that were on this show from all walks of different promotions coming together. It's amazing. And people coming together for independent stars. And for them, this was just an amazing wrestling show. And that's when it came off on TV. And what I liked about this as well is a lot of guys that maybe a lot of you may not be familiar with that got that rub, that got that exposure. And I'm going to say this right now, and it may come off like it's cheesy as all hell, but I honestly do not care. The game has changed. The game has completely changed with All In. Hell, even with Ring of Honor and New Japan doing the MSG show. Again, Ring of Honor doing good things. New Japan Pro Wrestling doing good things. Impact Wrestling is doing a lot of good things as well right now. The game has completely changed. And also what it taught me is that WWE, and again, I think all have been known this for a long time, they do not own professional wrestling. Yes, granted, WWE is still the end-all, be-all. They are still top-notch. They are still, let's say, Real Madrid, if you will, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean you have to go there to have a fun time. I guarantee, will it happen one day? Will some of these guys end up going to WWE? Maybe so. But right now, everyone that was on this show had the time of their lives. I guarantee you that. Also, I'm going to say this too, and I saw this on social media from a lot of people after All In. A lot of people saying, oh, this was better than SummerSlam or what have you. And you know what? You're probably right. Yeah, this was better than SummerSlam. But what I've also saw on Twitter and on social media as well, because literally after All In, my Twitter feed was blowing up. I think everyone's Twitter was fucking blowing up. People were saying, follow that, WWE. Follow that. I think people that are saying that right now, again, it's cool to be confident and cocky and just proud of what you saw. But I think the people that are saying follow that, I feel like they're not seeing the bigger picture. In my honest opinion. I think Cody said this in an interview, literally for Busted Open Radio, literally the day before All In. The intent of the show, All In, was not meant to hurt WWE. Granted, you know for a fact that people in the WWE knew about this show. I guarantee you Vince McMahon, in some way, shape, or form, is watching the show, seeing how it's all going down. How literally 3 guys not funded by a major company were able to get this done and it delivered. You know for a fact there's people within the WWE as well that watch this show and they're also at all. I know Daniel Bryan posted a tweet wishing luck to Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. I know that Kurt Hawkins posted a tweet about the show as well. You kind of get the idea, all right? But again, this was not meant to, again, compete with WWE or hurt the WWE. So all of you people that are saying follow that or this and that, just stop. It really, just stop right now. Let's all be happy that this show delivered, and let's see where things go from here. I think that's the big mess. Let's see what happens after this. Because imagine All In 2 happens in a fucking stadium. Again, who the fuck knows, right? But if it was up to me, I'd say All In 2. I'd say you do it still in Chicago or do it still in the Cedar Center. Or if not, you know what? Maybe bring it to New York. Maybe the West Coast. Guys, give me your thoughts. What do you guys think about that? Would you like to see All In 2 in what city? Would you like to see it in New York? Maybe in the maybe again, it's still Chicago, maybe LA, or maybe again, give me your fucking thoughts. Give me your thoughts in the comment threads, or if not, let me know on Twitter at HeelSteven. Again, I enjoyed the show. I thought the venue itself, it looked like a big deal. It looked like I was watching AAA almost. I was watching Triple Mania. the whole set, the way everything was done. I mean, I like the whole setup, all in, the rope, the ring, the apron. My only thing is on the Tron had Bullet Club. It just felt like, you didn't need the Bullet Club logo there. I get it. It's a Bullet Club thing. It is what it is. But again, it's a small detail. I'll be honest, though, I did not watch the show completely live because when this show started, I was at work. And I got out of work at 9 p.m. And when I left work, Twitter was going like crazy because Cody Rhodes won the NWA World title. And when I saw them, I'm like, wait a minute, oh shit, the show's over. And I'm like, no, it did not. The show was still halfway through. And I got home and I got to see the rest of the show. But I felt like, to me, the NWA World title should have gone on last. And I get it, maybe Cody's like, it's my show. I'm running this show. I should not go on last. But to me, again, if you're trying to make a big deal out of the NWA World title, which, again, they're bringing back from the dead, what have you, then it should have gone on last, in my honest opinion. But as always, I want to hear from you guys in the comment threads below. Your thoughts on the show, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and a lot of fun stuff. For now, let me know on Twitter, @HeelSteven, or if not, what have you. So, I got to rewatch everything again, the replay, what have you. I did see the 0 hour on a replay. It had 2 matches on the show. It had the SoCal Uncensored, which was Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky versus the Briscoe brothers. SoCal Uncensored, Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, they came out to Rocky 2. So Scorpio Sky literally was wearing the Apollo Creed gear, if you will, the red, white, and blue, while literally Kazarian was rocking the Rocky Balboa attire here. It was a fun match. It's something that you definitely would have seen in Ring of Honor on a pay-per-view or something like that, or a house show. The match literally the Briscoes went for the Doomsday Device, but Kazarian was able to counter it into like a freaking slam in the middle of the move, right? In midair, right? It reminded me when Kazarian would do like the flux capacitor back in Impact Wrestling. It reminded me of that. And all that led to them getting the win. So literally SoCal Uncensored got the win, SCU. And say what you want, like, if you've been watching Being the Elite, right, the YouTube series, their stuff that they've been doing was hilarious. I remember them saying, this whole thing, this is the worst time I ever fucking been in. It's hilarious. And I remember there was a video where they're showing them training. And again, had that Rocky feel. I thought it was hilarious. It is what it is. End of the fucking day. But we'll see where this goes. But again, I feel like everything on this show at the same time was meant for fun. To have a fun time. And hey, wrestling is fun again, if you will. We had the over-the-budget Battle Royal. And this was fun as all hell. Everything on this match was fun. You had Billy Gunn and his son here. You had Hurricane chokeslamming people like crazy. Brian Cage and Jordan Grace having an exchange. Moose being eliminated. Literally being freaking eliminated by Marco Stunt, who literally looks like he could be Spike Dudley's kid. I shit you not. He is that tiny. But again, he got a big reaction after being in that Joey Janelle Lost to New York show during SummerSlam weekend. So he's brought into the show. He did a corkscrew codebreaker. I want to say I think it was on Brian Cage, somewhere in this match. You had the best friends trying to hug it out here. Colt Cabana's in this match as well. Got a big reaction. It was funny because, again, everyone thought for a minute that Bully Ray was going to win this match. And the thing about this, right, hey, wrestling is fun again. It's the future of the business, and you're going to have Bully Ray win the Battle Royal, but it didn't go that way. But again, at the end of the match, right, again, I'm rambling off here. I know I am. But there's a moment in the match before it even took place, Bully Ray power bombs El Hijo, I want to say, of Chico, right, the masked luchador that's being played by Rocky Romero. And he power bombed through a table. And he's just laying there throughout the whole match, resting and shit, right? And again, just all the crazy stuff that's happening in the ring. And literally, again, it's down to like Bully Ray, Colt Cabana, and Jordan Grace, who gets eliminated by Bully Ray. I'll say that she had a good showing in the match. She really had a good showing for what it is. And it was literally down to, again, Colt Cabana and Bully Ray. And Cabana gets eliminated by Bully Ray. And everyone thought again, oh shit, Bully Ray winning this match. Oh hell no. And then in comes this guy that got put through a table, and you find out it's Flip Gordon, and he eliminates Bully Ray. So Flip Gordon, who was trying to get himself into the show, who was not being able to get booked because Cody wouldn't allow it to happen, finally gets his moment. He's booked on the show, and he's going to go on to face Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor World title later on in the night. Again, a good way, got a great reaction. People going crazy for this. Again, there's nothing here that you could have hated on this match. Everything on this match was fucking insane. Even the flips and shit like that was happening in the beginning of the match. But again, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was fun. It was fun as all hell. Probably the most fun battle royal I've seen in a very, very long time. That's my honest opinion. And again, I've seen a lot of battle royals over the years. And this was probably one of the most fun battle royals that I've fucking seen. For a kickoff show at that. The pay-per-view kicked off with M-Dog being Matt Cross versus MJF, Maxwell, Jacobs, Friedman, who I've been watching on WrestlePro. He's the current CZW World Champion. I believe also the freaking major MLW Middleweight Champion as well. A guy on the rise, if you will. And I'm happy that he got the exposure. I know Kurt Hawkins posted a tweet during the show saying how proud he was of MJF here. And I think the sky's the limit for this guy. He's going to be a big-time player somewhere down the road, wherever he signed, whether it's for Ring of Honor or Impact Wrestling, what have you. He's going to be a fucking big-time player in the business. And I'm going to say this too, again. It was an okay match, okay? I honestly, though, would have not kicked off the show with this match. That's my honest opinion. Okay, like I said earlier, there were matches that were placed on the card that should not have been placed the way that it was, and this is one of them. I'm not saying it was a bad match. I thought overall it was a good way. It was an okay way to kick off the show, but not something that I would think of as a pay-per-view opener. They were referencing how Matt Cross has wrestled all over the world in buildings like, again, the Sears Center for the big crowds, whether it's in Europe and what have you. And I'm going to say this too, and again, it may be very unpopular, but to me, MJF should have gone over. That's just my honest opinion. I feel like if you want to showcase the new guy, the future of the business, even though he got the exposure, again, being in that capacity, wrestling in that capacity, I thought the wrong person went over here. Don't get me wrong, there's this funny thing, right, where they all thought that MJF was going to do like a fucking suicide dive, and he's like, I don't need to flip to get over. I thought it was hilarious. This guy's, again, he's fucking gold. I want to see where MJF is at in 3 years from now. I can only imagine where he's going to be 3 years from now. If he's that good right now, being in the business for only 3 years, I want to see him in 3 years from now. I want to see where he's at. I'm telling you right now, MJF is someone to look at into the future. We then had Christopher Daniel versus Stephen Amell. You had Jerry Lynn, who was the special guest referee. Apparently here Amell was accompanied to the ring by Josh Segarra, a co-star from Arrow. I'm not saying this was a bad match, by no means necessary. I thought the match was okay. I felt like at the same time though, not the best showing from Christopher Daniel, because again, Christopher Daniel is an amazing performer. We've all been knowing that for a long time. And there are moments here where he botched the BME. He botched the BME twice here. He almost tripped during the match. And again, it happens, okay? It happens. It is what it is. I felt like Stephen Amell, for a guy who, let's be real about it, is not a professional wrestler. He's a celebrity, right? We all saw him wrestle at SummerSlam a couple years ago. It was him and Neville versus Stardust and Wade Barrett. You think about it, now all four of them are not even in the company. And from where he was then to now, he's like, oh my God, he can go, he can compete. And there, again, the match for what it was, again, not the best show. I'm not saying it was bad or anything. Could have been better. There was a moment where literally Mel does a Van Terminator from coast to coast, barely hits Christopher Daniels. There's a table that was literally set up on the floor that Amell literally went through. He jumped off the top rope, and again, he missed Daniels, got a crazy spot. Again, for a celebrity, he hung in there. He did better than a lot of celebrities would have, if you will. Again, there's the exception, Ronda Rousey. It is what it is. But when it was a moment in the match too where freaking Jerry Lynn, I'm gonna call him Jeremy Lynn, I don't know why. Jerry Lynn was going for the doing the count, right, but he refused to, and literally rolled out and rolled both of them back into the ring, refusing to, again, for the count out. He refused it and shit. And Amel, like, I guess in this whole thing, because like, there was an exchange between Daniels and Jerry Lynn. There was an exchange, and Amel like went for like the fucking a low blow and then rolled him up for a near fall. But when it was all said and done, right, Christopher Daniel hit the Angel's Wing and then hit the second best move ever for the 1-2-3. So I feel like the right person won. In my honest opinion, I'm happy for someone like Daniels again to finally be wrestling in a capacity like this. Deserves the win. Stephen Amell, I'm gonna say this too again, for a celebrity, he hung in there. He was impressive. I'm not saying this is gonna be his fucking full-time gig by no means at all, but I'm happy to see what he was able to do here. But again, at the same time, it really wasn't the match that, oh my god, everyone thought it was gonna be, in my honest opinion. That being said, we'll see what happens with Stephen Amell if he continues to wrestle here and there. But again, at the same time, a good showing by him nonetheless. We then get Tessa Blanchard versus Chelsea Green versus Britt Baker versus Madison, right, in the Fatal 4-Way, 4-corner survival. You had, on commentary, you had Mandy Leon and Tennille Dashwood, formerly known as Emma, right? And I'm surprised, and again, maybe because I didn't realize that Mandy Leon had an injury, and maybe I'm wrong. I haven't really been following Ring of Honor like that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Leon has an injury that I don't know about, because I could have sworn that, hey, they would put Mandy Leon in this match. When you think about the Women of Honor, right? You think of someone like Mandy Leon or Sumi Sakai, right? And you would think, hey, they would be placed on the show. And the match, for what it was, I'm going to say this. I thought it was a fun match. There was some sloppy spots here and there, but I actually found myself enjoying this match. There's a lot of near falls here. A lot of fucking near falls in this match. There's a moment as well, I'm going to say this too. I want to say where Chelsea Green goes for the Canadian Destroyer. That, again, she did it fucking perfectly, by the way. Okay? Blanchard went for the Hammerlock DDT on Green to win the match, and she did. It felt like at the end of the match that Britt Baker was supposed to break the fall, but she didn't. Or she didn't do it in time. But that's how the match ended. Tessa Blanchard won the match. It was funny too, because before the match even started, like, Tessa Blanchard walked to the ring and she hugged it out with her family. Literally waiting for the remainder of the ring was Tully Blanchard, her father, and her stepfather, Magnum TA. So that was cool to see too. You're paying homage to the past. Britt Baker came out to Adam Cole's old theme song. And again, it was a fun match for what it is. As you all know as well, Madison Rain is part of the Mae Young Classic that's going to be airing in a couple of weeks. And I look forward to seeing how that plays out as well. And Britt Baker is someone that I feel like, again, who is a star in the future as well. I can definitely see someone like her, again, being signed one day by WWE. I'm going to say this too. I'm amazed how WWE, and again, I've been saying this for a while, but I'm going to say it again here. I'm amazed how WWE, you know, they freaking missed the ball on not signing Tessa Blanchard. In my honest opinion, that's the vibe I get sometimes. Like, I feel like someone like her could have definitely been like a good acquisition to that women's division. Now, again, I'm enjoying what she's doing at Impact. I feel like at times though, at Impact, she rushes a lot of stuff. But again, she is someone right now that's going to be probably the future of women's wrestling on the independent circuit. And I look forward to seeing what she does. Okay? After that, we go. But before that, also, they all embraced at the end of the match. They all embraced. They all hugged it out. It was a good moment. It was a cool, freaking good moment to see. We then get what really shocked me, the NWA World Title match. You had Cody versus Nick Aldis for the world title, obviously. I'm surprised this literally went fourth on the card. I thought this would have been the main event. Like, if you've been watching the 10 Pounds of Gold series, if you've been watching Cody's videos on YouTube, you would literally think this would have been the main event of All In. And I guess, again, for Cody, being that he's funding the show, the last thing he wanted to do is place this last on the card. It is what it is. That being said, though, this literally, again, leading up to this match, had a very, very that crazy fight feel to it, right? The build up to this, the training videos, Cody doing this for his father. When you think about it, right? That's why he dyed his hair blonde for this match. There's everything about this. Again, it was so freaking crazy leading up to the match. And then you get to the entrances here. Cody's entrance to the ring. I'm going to say this right now. If that did not hit you in the feel, I don't know what will. I'll be real, but I'm going to keep it 100, yeah? I normally don't do this. But if you've watched the last episode of 10 Pounds of Gold, the one where it's them and he's Cody talking about, hey, he'd be lying if he didn't do this for his father, but he's basically doing it for, it's a son wanting his dad to know. I teared up on that. That whole episode, I teared up. Because it's so crazy that he's doing this for his father. He's trying to honor his father, right? And then he walks out to the ring. You can see the tear almost coming out of it. He was trying to hold it in. All that emotion, just raw emotion. Again, if his entrance to the ring and all that led up to that match, if that doesn't hit you in the fucking feel, then bruh, I don't know what will. Not only that, but again, it had that fight feel, the walking out to the ring. You had literally, right, Cody being accompanied by Diamond Dallas Page, Tommy Dreamer, his brother and father-in-law, even Pharaoh the dog. He walked the dog to the ring, which got a crazy reaction, right? And just all of that, it was freaking amazing. And then Nick Aldis came out to the ring, and Nick Aldis was accompanied by Jeff Jarrett, Sean Daivari, Samuel Shaw, who I've not seen in years from his TNA days, right? And for what shocked me was Tim Storm. And I say that because if you guys have been watching the whole 10 Pounds of Gold, right? They were talking about the NWA at one time being the forgotten brand, how it was on life support, and how literally Nick Aldis and Cody revived it, right? But when they were talking about, again, being on life support and almost being a dead brand and stuff like that, right? They referenced Tim Storm. They would always show a picture or a graphic of Tim Storm when he was champion. And I remember Cody in an episode of Ring of Honor leading up to the match, he told Aldis, hey, you're going from the kiddie table to the high roller table. How, if it weren't for Cody, Nick Aldis would have just been a history teacher, a 53-year-old history teacher in some beat down venue and shit. And the thought, again, just them throwing shade at Tim Storm. That's the vibe I got from it. And the fact that he would accompany Aldis to the ring, wow, And I'm going to say this, okay, overall. The match itself, was it a classic? No, by no means at all. Was it one of Nick Aldis' better matches? Absolutely. Probably the best Nick Aldis match I've seen in God knows how long. I said it in my prediction video. I think Nick Aldis right now is probably doing the best work of his career, hands fucking down. Hands fucking down. But that being said, though, the moment itself was all about. The match itself, it was crazy back and forth. There's a moment in the match where Cody jumps to the outside and Aldis catches him and shit. And Nick is and Cody's just down. DDP comes in, tries to check up on Cody. Daivari, for some reason, pushes him, right? Oh, by the way, Jeff Jarrett also accompanied Nick Aldis. I didn't mention it in people that accompanied Nick Aldis. But Daivari comes out. He shoves DDP, shoves him and shit in the ring. And by the way, Earl Hebner was the special guest the special guest referee for this match. Earl freaking Hebner, right? And Daivari is literally yelling at Earl Hebner, what have you. And then DDP comes in the ring and hits the diamond cutter on Daivari. Got a crazy ass pop. And you see that Cody's bleeding like crazy in this match. I'm going to say this too, and this is the vibe I got, okay? And again, I get it. Earl Hebner is a legend in the business. I get that. But man, has he aged. Man, has he looked like he's now in grandfather years now. And you can just tell by his movement and how he, presented himself. He looked like damn, if you will, right? But it is what it is. Hopefully WWE puts him in the Hall of Fame ASAP, because he definitely does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And the match, for what it is, again, it's a crazy back and forth match. There's a moment where literally Nick Aldis, he's on the top rope, he's ready to drop an elbow, right? And Brandy, who gets in the ring to check up on her husband, and Nick Aldis is literally on the top rope ready to jump, and she lays on top of Cody like a shield. Like a freaking shield. This is like ride or die status, right? If you will. And Nick Aldis jumps and hits the elbow on Brandy. Which is like, wow, why would that even happen, right? And there's a crazy back and forth match. There's a moment where Aldis went for the his clover leaf, if you will, and he hits it on Cody in the middle of the ring. Cody makes it to the rope. Cody eventually was able to power through, and he countered through, went for a sunset flip into the pin, and hit the 1, 2, 3. So they went back to like 92, Bulldog and Bret Hart here with the finish, and literally like that, Cody Rhodes became the new NWA World Champion, the very first father and son duo. Him being the son, his father being Dusty Rhodes, to be the NWA World Champion. Again, it was a very, very good feel. Like, oh my God, like you cannot script this. You cannot script it. It again had that very awesome feel to it. Everyone was going crazy. Just the moment Cody pinned Aldis for the 1, 2, 3, everyone jumped out of their seats. And again, it's just like one of those things that you just wanted to see. And it's just like a culmination almost to Cody's career. It's like, yo, again, here's a guy who took a chance on himself. And look where the payoff led him to. Not only being a Ring of Honor World Champion, traveling the world, wrestling in New Japan and Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. Like, think about it, right? When he left WWE in 2016, right? Like mid 2016, late 2016, in under a year of him leaving, he wrestled at WrestleMania, Bound for Glory, Final Battle, and Wrestle Kingdom, right? That's crazy in itself. And then, again, become the Ring of Honor World Champion, be part of the Bullet Club, and now culminating all this journey with him being the NWA World Champion, right? And I'll be honest about it. I'm going to keep it 100. There's a part of me that thought that it might not even happen. Because, hey, it's Cody's show, right? And people were saying, oh, man, it wouldn't be right. He's winning it at his own show. End of the fucking day, listen, the moment was insane. He deserves it. He's worked so hard for it. He's earned it. And I look forward to seeing what Cody does as the NWA World Champion. You know, the NWA, they're going to be doing their 70th anniversary show soon. And if there's anyone that if there's anybody that should be going into that show as the champion to celebrate 70 years, I don't think there's anyone better than Cody Rhodes right now. Cody, I think, is a good choice for it right now. And again, now he is the quote-unquote traveling champion. Let's see where he goes. Let's see what happens. But I see a lot of good things happening as well for the NWA. And time will only tell. But again, I think everyone across the board is happy for Cody Rhodes. A good moment. And let's see where things lead up to now. But again, just a very, very crazy moment. Even his entrance to the ring, like I said. Again, if that entrance to the ring didn't get you teary-eyed or didn't hit you in the feel, then I honestly did not know what the fuck will. I literally did not know what the fuck will. We then go on to the Chicago street fight between Adam Page and Joey Janella. I did not mind this match at all. I thought this match was fun. Couple problems with this match. Number one, I would have placed this match at the beginning of the show, of the pay-per-view that is. I would have started off this pay-per-view with Joey Janela and Adam Page and placed Matt Cross and MJF in the middle of this card. That could have been, again, just a throwaway, all right, it's all calm down now kind of match, if you will. That being said, this was your hardcore match, the Chicago Street Fight. Your typical hardcore match that you would see, again, any indie fed or CTW, shit like that. It's funny because, again, this show is sponsored by Cracker Barrel, Hot Topic, TGI Friday, Protein Teas, what have you, right? And there were Cracker Barrels literally outside of the ring, which they ended up using as a weapon in this match. Um, freaking oh my god, there's a moment in the match where there's a ladder on the outside that's stacked up, or it's like literally connected from the apron to the guardrail, and Hangman Page does like a freaking burning hammer onto the ladder and shit. Like, oh, it looks so grueling though. It looks so freaking grueling and shit. And I'm gonna say this too. I said this in my prediction video. To me, Hangman Page improved leaps and bounds. He really, really did. I remember when he joined the Bullet Club a couple years ago. I'm like, why is he even in the group? And now I see him here. He looks like a star. He looks like someone that is WWE bound. You know for a fact he is WWE bound in a couple of years. You know what I mean? He's someone that you know for a fact Vince Triple just would love to grab and make a star out of him. Not saying he's not a star, but he is, but you kind of get the idea. Joey Janela, just like with MJF, he is a star for the future. I know he does a lot of the spring break shows during WrestleMania weekends. The Lost in New York show, which I did not go to either. Again, I wish I could have gone. But again, he's someone that I've seen wrestle a couple of times at WrestlePro. Like the last time I went to WrestlePro, he wrestled Ultimo Dragon. It was a fun match. I see a lot of good things happening for him in the future as well. And just like with MJF, I want to see where Joey Janela is 3 years from now or so. Where he ends up going, where Rhodes take him and shit like that. But again, what was cool about his match as well, Penelope Ford got involved, which is the girlfriend of Joey Janela. There's a moment in the match where Hangman Page, he goes for like he goes for the bag, right? And Penelope Ford gets involved, and there's an exchange between Penelope Ford and Hangman Page, which ends with Penelope Ford doing multiple backflips, the Matrix move, and then a stunner on Hangman Page. A freaking stunner. Which, again, got a major reaction. You could even say that in a way, it kind of overshadowed the match. Like, oh my god, how did that even happen? How crazy is that, right? There's also this moment in the match that I will say, it kind of cringed. Like, you tell they kind of fucked up, but it is what it is almost. Because, again, it happens. They have these tables stacked outside the ring near the stairs where the wrestlers come up and down for the stage, whatever, right? And Hangman Page goes for a powerbomb, and Joey Janela barely hit a table. Like, he just barely by luck just touched one table. And you could just tell like it wasn't meant to go that way, but luckily though, Janela was able to finish the match. And it's a moment where again, Hangman Page goes back to the bag, and out come the boots. Now, again, if you've been following Being the Elite, you would understand where this is going with, right? The boots all led to what happened. If you've been watching Following the Elite, you would know that in the story, Hangman Page killed Joey Ryan, right? And killing him, he dirtied his boots, he tried to get rid of them, and his whole time on Being the Elite, he is walking barefoot. He's barefoot all the time. And it's funny because even during StarCast, he was barefoot, right? Carrying the gimmick, if you will. And in the series, the boots end up talking to him. So he sees the boots and he's in shock. Like, oh my God, how scary is this? It's so scary and shit. And there's a moment where they're on both the top of the ladder. There's a table literally in the ring. They're both on top of the ladder. And it's one of those things where it's like, he grabs the bag. It's like the phone that he used to kill Joey Ryan. He wraps it around Joey Janela, hits him with it, and then hits the rite of passage, which is his finisher, in midair through a table for the 1-2-3. So Hangman Page got the win. But nonetheless, again, a very fun match by both guys here. And honestly, if you had left it at that, that would have been fine. At the same time, I said this earlier, this should have been the first match on the pay-per-view. And then, from all of this, right, Joey Ryan, who's allegedly dead, if you watch Being the Elite, rose from the dead. Again, if you've watched Being the Elite, this shit would make sense. Okay? He comes out, and by the way, he comes out with these penis druids. Literally, druids literally wearing penis costumes, right? I cannot make this shit up. I really cannot make this shit up. This mother flower comes out, oils himself up, it makes Hangman Page grab his penis and does the whole penis flip and all that. And it literally, Hangman Page got carried out by these penis druids. And people were chanting, "Rest in penis. Rest in penis." Now, I can understand there's people out there that will say, "Oh, this is terrible. It's disgusting. Joey Ryan making a mockery of the wrestling business." I get it. Honestly, I would have not done this on the show because I feel like it was a waste of fucking time. But at the same time, if you've been watching Being the Elite, you understand why they would do it. It's the big payoff. Joey Ryan is back from the dead. You would only understand this if you would only understand this if you've been watching Being the Elite. I feel like. At the same time, yes, I will agree with everyone that says, "Oh, that Joey Ryan is over." He literally is overdoing it now with the penis thing. I get it. Listen, I was at an indie show over a year ago or so, and it was a Royal Rumble. It was a Royal Rumble match at WrestlePro, and Joey Ryan eliminated 10 people or 11 people at one time with this dick flip shit. Even that, I like, come on, all right, bro, you're overdoing it now. I feel like now. But at the same time, listen, end of the day in wrestling, whatever gets you over by all fucking means, and yeah, people, for some weird reason, go crazy for it. And it made him a lot of money. And he got him the YouPorn sponsorship and shit like that. So, again, it is what it is. It is what it is, honestly. It was a waste of time. I'll give you that. Because apparently the show had really been rushed after this. So, it is what it is. It's dumb. It didn't make sense. But again, I feel like if you've watched Being the Elite, you'd understand why they did it. We get the Ring of Honor World Championship match. We had Jay Lethal, or Black Machismo, or Macho Man Randy Savage Jr., that is, versus Flip Gordon. And it's funny because they show a video of Lethal coming out to the ring in his regular attire, and he gets handed over glasses by none other than Leaping Lanny Poffo, the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage, and he smacks him in the arm. He smacks him in the shoulder, that is, right? In the side of the shoulder, he smacks him. And again, if you've been watching Being the Elite, you get where this is going, right? He becomes Macho Man again, right? Or Black Machismo again. So we get Flip Gordon in the ring. He's being accompanied by Brandy Rhodes. And they hear the old Macho Man theme song, right? And people literally went insane. It was literally Jay Lethal dressed as Macho Man, being accompanied by Leaping Lanny Poffo. And again, that was very cool to see, if you will. The match itself, I'll say, it was a fun match. Was it the greatest Ring of Honor World Title match of all time? No, by no means at all. It had its funny moments, yes. There's a moment where at the beginning of the match where Lethal would come out of the ring and grab Brandy Rhodes and walk her back into his corner because he thought that was Elizabeth. There's a moment in the match as well where he carries her, and then Brandy's like, "Listen, I'm not Liz," and she smacks him in the arm, and it becomes Jay Lethal again, right? But again, just a crazy, just back and forth match. Flip Gordon had literally a lot of near falls here. There's a moment as well where literally Jay Lethal as Macho Man, right? Or Black Machismo, if you will, did like 3 elbow drops onto Flip Gordon. Again, doing the whole homage to Hogan and Savage from WrestleMania 5. And then Flip Gordon hulked up. He hulked up. People thought he was channeling the spirit of the Ultimate Warrior. Then he hulked up like crazy. And again, yeah, I'm starting like crazy right now. I get it. He freaking hulked up, and at one point, Lethal countered the springboard into a cutter. It was the lethal injection for the win. So again, all this stuff, and again, Flip Gordon hung in there. He got a good reaction. He came close multiple times to becoming the champion. I knew he was going to do it, though. But again, the whole point was, hey, Flip Gordon finally got booked for All In. And that's what I think mattered also on the show as well. Like, he finally got his mom, he booked on the show. And of all things, to wrestle for the Ring of Honor World title. And then after the match, for no reason whatsoever, Bully Ray come out and he attacked both Lethal and Flip Gordon. Random, if you will, in my honest opinion. But it's just like, whatever, right? And it led to literally, after the match, right? Colt Cabana to come out and made the save. It's funny because everyone thought for a minute, oh my God, when that happened, oh, the save, right? Maybe CM Punk would have came out. But no, out came Colt Cabana, and the three of them Shield power bombed. Literally Bully Ray. It was Flip Gordon, Colt Cabana, and Jay Lethal. It looked like they struggled to power bomb Bully Ray because of his size, but that's how it ended. Again, the match was good for what it was. I just feel like, again, Bully Ray coming out kind of like, took away a little bit. That's my honest opinion. We get Kenny Omega versus Pentagon El Zero and or Pentagon Jr., depending how you want to call him, what day of the week you want to call him, what name you want to call him, depending on the day of the week. This was a fucking insane match. This is probably, by a lot of people's opinion, the best match on the show. Following, it's up there between this and the NWA World Title match, but I'm leaning more towards this. Okay, the first time these two guys ever touched one-on-one, I knew they had a match before in PWG, but it was like a 6-person tag. And this match, for the opening part of the match, was insane. You had, again, on commentary, you had Ian Riccaboni, Excalibur from PWG, and you had Don Callis from New Japan Impact Wrestling commentating for this match. And just an insane, crazy back and forth match. It looked like from the beginning, Pentagon had a momentum on the offense here. And there's a moment where, again, Pentagon Jr. does the package pile driver on the apron. On the fucking apron, which looked so fucking grueling to see. He ends up like doing that whole move where he goes to break the arm of somebody. Like, I've seen him do Lucha Underground numerous times on Lucha Underground, where he does it and he like breaks the arm and shit. And he didn't break it here though, or anything like that. But you kind of get the idea. And the whole thing here, again, just a crazy back and forth match. Omega hit literally multiple freaking V triggers here. I tried to go for the one-wing angel multiple times, but couldn't fucking do it. And eventually he did. But again, just a crazy, insane back and forth match. Again, just match of the night, if you will. And they're referencing, again, it's the current Lucha Underground champion in Pentagon Jr., if you watched the show, what have you, versus the current IWGP World Champion. Even though I don't even reference Lucha Underground, but you kind of get the idea, right? It was all said and done, though. Kenny Omega ended up hitting the V-trigger to the reverse Hurricane Rana to another V-trigger to eventually the one-winged angel and got the win over Pentagon Jr. Just a crazy, insane match, though. Crazy fucking insane match. And then the lights go out and everyone thought, oh my God, something's going on. And you see Jericho, who is dressed as Pentagon Jr., who attacked Kenny Omega. And it's funny because he attacks Kenny Omega, right? And then after this, apparently, he goes on to his concert in Kansas City on a private jet. But he attacks Kenny Omega with the Code Breaker. And he says he will see him at the Jericho Cruise. Apparently, as you all know, it's going to be the Alpha Club, being Jericho and... It's Jericho and the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega, Marty Scurll, and I believe Cody. And a 6-person tag match. But again, we'll see how that goes as well. Think about it too. Jericho is currently the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Had defended the title since. He's like the Brock Lesnar of the IWGP Intercontinental title picture in New Japan right now. Right? But again, the match for what it was, I enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing if we're going to eventually see a Jericho and Omega 2 match. Which I would not mind seeing. Honestly, would not. We then get the co-main event. Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll, the villain. And the bill is this match, hey, Marty Scurll couldn't beat Okada. He's such a junior heavyweight to beat a heavyweight here. And this match, I thought it was a fun match. Not saying it was, an amazing match. Anything like that. It went long, right? It went freaking long for this match, right? They had a comedy skit at the beginning of the match where Marty's walking out to the ring and he gets approached by Arthur and Trevor, who are the hands, right? And they're both telling him that Marty can't get the job done, and Marty literally breaks both their hands and shit, whatever. But the match itself, I thought had a slow start, then it picked up. There's moments where literally Scurll hit the chicken wing on Okada multiple times, and it looked like Okada was gonna tap out. It looked like it, but it didn't happen. There's a moment in the match. By the way, too, Okada came out to Rainmaker Okada, not this freaking midlife crisis Okada that you see in New Japan with the balloon and shit like that. There was money just dropping from the sky, which was cool to see, right? I've seen that shit in a long time, but cool. If you think about it, the visual of that in that building was insane, right? But it gave you the idea there were moments in the match where, oh my god, Skrull's gonna get the win. There's a moment as well where Okada goes for the Rainmaker clothesline, but literally Skrull had the umbrella because the referee was knocked down. He hits him with the umbrella, and then Skrull goes in for his version of the Rainmaker. And again, this is your typical Okada match as well, where there's freaking the drop kick from the top, from where he's at to the top turnbuckle, his standing drop kick that he usually does as well, the tombstone, the spinning tombstone, and then eventually was all said and done, Okada ended up getting the win, heading the Rainmaker clothesline. And that was it. That was the end of the match. And after that, they rushed both guys out of the ring to get to the main event. The Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi, the Golden Elite, versus Rey Mysterio, Bandito, and Rey Fenix. Here's the thing about it, okay? To me, again, depending how you guys want to view the Young Bucks, it is what it is. I just honestly would have not had this match be the main event of the show. It felt random. It felt like I'm watching a PWG show. I felt like I'm watching something at a Ring of Honor house show. If I went to one of their live shows, what have you, in New York. Again, nothing bad about the match. I thought the match was fun for what it was. But to me, and I'm going to say it again, to me, what should have closed the show should have been Cody versus Nick Aldis for the NWA World Title. That should have been your main event, not this 6-person tag. But again, it was a fun match. It was rushed a little bit, but it was a fun match. Mysterio came out dressed as his Wolverine, right? But again, a crazy back and forth match. There was Meltzer Driver, there was Super Kick, there was Suicide Dive to the outside by Bandito and Phoenix and what have you. The match literally ends when the Bucks pin Bandito with a Meltzer Driver. And after the Golden Elite, and after a Golden Elite style, more bang for your buck. Just a visual too of seeing Kota Ibushi versus Rey Mysterio. Let that freaking marinate for a minute. That was cool to see. Now, as well, there's talks of Rey going back to WWE real soon. We'll see if that even happens or not. But we'll see. But again, I thought All In was an amazing show from top to bottom. There's some stuff here that I will criticize. There's stuff here that was done differently. But nonetheless, again, an enjoyable show. If you have not yet gone out of your way to watch the show, you owe it to yourself. If you're a wrestling fan, just go out of your way and watch the show. For whatever, for anything, again, for Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr., Cody Rhodes becoming the NWA World Champion, if anything, on this show. And I'll be real about it, like I said before, I look forward to All In 2 if there is one. A part of me wants to hope that it actually does happen. We'll see as well. And if there's a StarCast 2, I'm going to say this right now. My goal is next to be part of Podcast Row. That's the goal. We'll see how that happens as well. But again, guys, in the comment threads below, give me your thoughts on the show. If you liked the show, if you not liked the show, I always want it from you guys in the comment threads below. And like I said before, if there's anything that All In, taught you, is there's nothing wrong with taking a chance on yourself. End of the fucking day. And to not underestimate the power of independent wrestling. And like I said before, the game has completely changed. But as always, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. If you're newer to this channel on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. This will also be available on PodBean, so it'll be also available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, also over at Spotify. So if you want to go that extra mile to do so, give the podcast on iTunes a 5-star rating. It will help out the podcast in the long run. All right. I'll be back tomorrow for my Raw review and all that fun stuff. But again, this is an amazing weekend for wrestling. It's a win nonetheless. It's a win for professional wrestling at the end of the fucking day. And the fact that, again, all these promotions came together. Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan. what have you. The local indie feds as well came together for this show. It kind of reminded me a lot as well as the Super Clash from like back in the day when the AWA tried to come together with all the other promotions. The only difference was that this one actually worked. There was no ego. It wasn't ego driven. There were no people trying to sign talent, shit like that. But as always, again, guys, give me your thoughts down below. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time with the flowers. It's me. It's Steve. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, mother flowers.